Hey everyone, and welcome back to another eShop Deals video. Now it's pretty crazy because today the eShop was hit with a massive sale with over 1,500 games falling in price. So to help you find your way, today I'm only focusing on the 50 best games that are currently at lowest ever prices. So I'm not going to keep repeating it throughout the video. Every game on today's list has never been this cheap on the Nintendo Switch eShop. Now once again, almost all these deals are only available in North America for the moment. However, if you're overseas, I would still take a look because most likely they're going to be coming around in just a little while. And for all the regulars on the channel, today's video will be in a very different format, much more rapid fire than usual, so we can actually have time to cover all 50 games. I'll also be separating the video into different genres. So now as we jump into today's deals, don't forget to leave a comment down below to be automatically entered in the weekly $10 eShop gift card giveaway, and hit that like button and subscribe if you aren't already. Now we're going to start out today with our 3D action games, and our first game is our only Switch 2 exclusive deal with Cyberpunk 2077, the Ultimate Edition, being 15% off, $59.49. Now if you want the ultimate open world experience on the Nintendo Switch 2, well, for the moment it's pretty much this game right here. It runs very well on the system, it offers all the DLC content, and it's just overall a fantastic game. Now next, that brings us to the Assassin's Creed Anniversary Edition Mega Bundle that is 70% off, $29.99. Now this collection groups together pretty much all the Assassin's Creed games currently available on the Nintendo Switch, with Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered, Assassin's Creed The Rebel Collection that groups together Black Flag and Rogue, and finally, Assassin's Creed The Ezio Collection that groups together Assassin's Creed 2, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, and Assassin's Creed Revelations. It's absolutely crazy value to be getting all these games at only $30. And by the way, if you own any of them already, each collection is also on sale individually. Now, if you're looking for a different kind of action experience, we also have Runer that is 83% off, only $3.49. Now this game is an isometric viewpoint brutal action shooter. It's a fast-paced, stylish, and really fun game, and at this extremely budget price point, it's definitely worth checking out. Now next, that brings us to a guilty pleasure of mine with Maneater that is 80% off, $7.99. Now this game is all about absurd over-the-top fun, where you really have only one sole objective: to play as a shark and eat everything you can find to grow stronger and become the apex predator. I really enjoy this game as a casual fun experience when you just want to turn off your brain and have some fun. Now next, we have an iconic series with Tomb Raider 1 through 6 Remastered that is 45% off, $30.24. Now you can probably tell by the title, but yes, this groups together the 6 Tomb Raider games. And although I definitely think that the first 3 games are the best part of this package, getting all 6 for only $30 is once again some amazing value. Also, just as Assassin's Creed, if you already own one of the collections and you want the other, they are both on sale individually. Now we still aren't done with the 3D action games, because next we have Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 Special Edition that is hitting 60% off, $19.99. Now, if you've ever wanted to create your own character and become part of the Dragon Ball universe, well, that's exactly what this game is offering. And what's awesome about this pack here is that it includes 7 years of accumulated DLC, meaning that you're getting a huge amount of gaming for only $20. So I think for Dragon Ball fans, this is an excellent pickup. Now next, we have Tiny Terry's Turbo Trip that is 40% off, $10.79. Now this is yet again an open world experience, however in a much more casual format. This really is a joyful and heartwarming game that offers a short and delightful experience. And especially now at this brand new low, it can be really worth the pickup for the right player. And lastly, to wrap up our 3D action section, we have Star Wars Episode 1 Jedi Power Battles that is 35% off, $12.99. Now this isn't necessarily what I would call a great game, but it is a ton of fun for those who enjoy a retro experience in co-op mode. The game has its flaws, but it definitely offers a fun niche experience for those who enjoyed the original. Next, we're going to jump into some strategy games, with our first one being Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope, 83% off, $9.99. Now this is the follow-up to Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, and is yet again a turn-based strategy shooter, sort of like a Mario XCOM-like experience. However, with a much more casual approach, and teaming up the Mario cast with the quirky Rabbids. Also on a side note, if you want to jump fully into this game, there's also the Gold Edition with the DLC included at $14.99. Now next we have Unicorn Overlord that is 60% off, $23.99. Now I think this is one of the best modern strategy fantasy RPGs currently available. It has an absolutely beautiful art style, a deep and fun combat system, and really offers a great storyline. If you're a fan of the genre, you just can't go wrong with this one. Now lastly, to wrap up our strategy section, we have a game that is actually a mashup of different genres that I decided would fit in best here, and that is Card Shark, that is now 75% off, $4.99. Now this is a game that revolves around memorizing and executing real-world card tricks. You do so by mastering clever mini-games that demand focus and timing. Overall, this game is just a great mix of a historical setting, a striking art style, and really innovative gameplay. So now next, let's jump into some roguelikes. And our first one is going to be Enter the Gungeon, that is 77% off, $3.49. I think this is one of the most iconic games in the genre that plays out as a bullet hell dungeon crawler. The gameplay is easy to get into, but hard to master, and extremely addictive. The only thing I want to warn here is that sometimes the Enter the Gungeon and Exit the Gungeon bundle does come on sale for only $3.99, so if you're interested in both games, you might want to hold out a bit. Now next for our roguelikes, we have Jupiter Hell, that is now 50% off, $12.49. Now this is rather a turn-based roguelike set in a sci-fi horror universe. You'll have to manage weapons, ammo, and cover positions in tight, deadly corridors with RPG-style progression. A great pick for someone looking for a slightly more horrific experience. And now lastly for our roguelike section, we have Kingdom of Astaborg, that is 60% off, $13.19. Now this is a bundle that combines Demons of Astaborg and Asta Bros into one package. And both these games are retro-styled 2D action roguelikes. And I would say they have a very strong 16-bit Sega Genesis feel to them. Fair warning, however, they are very retro hard. Now moving on yet again, we have a couple of Metroidvanias with Prince of Persia The Lost Crown, 65% off, $13.99. Now the decision to transform the Prince of Persia franchise into a Metroidvania was a stroke of genius. And it's actually one of the best recent Ubisoft games that unfortunately didn't get the attention it deserved. It's an extremely fun and high quality Metroidvania experience, and if you're a fan of the genre, you have to pick this one up. And secondly, for our Metroidvanias, we have Nine Souls, that is now 40% off, $17.99. Now this is yet again a 2D action Metroidvania, but it has a Sekiro-inspired deflection-based combat system. It also features some absolutely beautiful hand-drawn art and animations, and some really epic boss fights. And it's going to be a great pick for someone looking for a challenging Metroidvania. Now next, we move on to RPGs, which groups together both turn-based and action RPGs. And first, we have Ys Origins, that is 75% off, $4.99. Now this is basically the remake of one of the best action RPGs of all time, and a great way to get into one of the longest running action RPG franchises. It remasters the game in a great way, being honest to the original while bringing it up to today's standards. And to be honest, I can't even believe that this game is now available for under $5. Now we aren't done with the Ys series yet because we also have Ys 9 Monstrum Nox that is now 60% off $23.99. Now if you're looking for one of the more modern entries in the series, well this game is one of the best on the Nintendo Switch. It offers a really great storyline, beautiful visuals, and some great action gameplay for those who enjoy the action RPG genre. Now, while we're on the subject of long-running action RPG franchises, we also have Tales of Symphonia Remastered that is now 75% off, $9.99. Now, this is yet again one of the most beloved action RPGs of all time. And although the remaster here wasn't loved by all, if you don't have a better way to play the game, it's still one of the best ways to experience the storyline. And at least now at this brand new low price point, if you're a fan of the genre, I do think it's worth picking up. Now lastly, for our RPG section, we have Labyrinth of Galleria, The Moon Society, hitting 60% off, $19.99. Now this is a deep and complex dungeon crawling RPG that serves as a spiritual successor to Labyrinth of Refrain. The gameplay revolves around commanding puppet soldiers, customizable party members that you have to deploy in large squads, all the while exploring sprawling grid-based labyrinths. So if you're looking for something different in the genre, this one can be a great choice.
Let's get going!
The Pursuit of Mystery, a tale of love and courage.
Now next, we have one of our biggest sections with our 2D action games. And our first one is going to be Gris, hitting 82% off, $2.99. A 2D action puzzle platformer that really is as much a work of art as it is a video game. It's a really beautiful and emotionally gripping experience. Now next up we have Gunbrella that is 70% off, $4.49. Now this game is rather a gritty noir punk action adventure game. It offers some really original mechanics featuring your Gunbrella, which is both defensive and offensive. Fair warning yet again, however, this is a fairly challenging one. Now we also have Pepper Grinder that's hitting 57% off, $6.49. Now this game is rather a fast-paced action platformer centered around keeping up your momentum thanks to your super-powered drilling device. It's a fun and challenging experience, however on the shorter side, but more than worth it at this low price. Next, we have a great collection of classic games with Sonic Origins 65% off, $10.49. I think these games need very little introduction. It basically groups together Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Sonic 3 and Knuckles, and Sonic CD. This is simply a must-have collections for fans of retro gaming. Next, we move into a few games that I would really call hidden gems, and the first one is Gimmick 2, that is 70% off, $5.99. Now this is a 2D action puzzle platformer that really offers a challenging yet satisfying experience. The good news, however, is that there's even an assist mode available in the game that makes it slightly more approachable. It's a great follow-up to a retro classic that stays true to its heart. And if you enjoy Gimmick 2, there's also the remake of the original currently on sale at 70% off, $4.49 for Gimmick Special Edition. Personally, I would recommend starting with the second one, and if you really enjoy the franchise, then working your way back to the first one. It's slightly less polished given its age, and the graphics are also way more retro. It's nonetheless a great nostalgic game to pick up. Another game that I consider a definite hidden gem on the system is Grapple Dogs Cosmic Canines that is now 50% off, $8.99. Now this is a vibrant 2D action platformer where your main mechanic is a grappling hook that you use both for traversal and combat. This sequel really refined the mechanics from the first Grapple Dog into what feels like an almost perfect follow-up. If you're a 2D platformer fan, this is yet again a must-play game. Now next on our list we have Abator that is 50% off, $7.49. Now this is actually a game that I reviewed on the channel, and it's a 2D action platformer that can be played with up to 4 players in co-op mode. And it yet again offers a great dose of retro fun with a dash of challenge. So if all this feels like your thing, I don't think you'll be disappointed with this one. Next, we also have Gladmort that is 60% off, dropping to $5.99. Now if you are a fan of challenge, this one is a truly savage, old school action platformer that channels the spirit of classics like Ghouls and Ghosts. There might be only 5 levels to the game, but trust me, they are deadly as heck. But yet again, a fantastic game for the right player. And lastly, for our 2D platformer section, we have Ninja 5 that is now 20% off, $19.99. Now this is a fast-paced side-scrolling action game that was originally released on the GBA, and it became over time one of the most expensive games to pick up. So it goes without saying that when it got ported to the Switch, a lot of people were happy. On top of it, it adds in some modern amenities, like save states and rewind features and more. It's a retro gaming classic, and I'm glad to see it finally hitting some sales. Now next, we move on into the action-adventure genre. And the first one we're going to be looking at is the Plucky Squire, that is now 60% off, $11.99. Now this game is a quirky action-adventure Zelda-like that has you traveling through the pages of a storybook. The best part of this game is truly the innovative puzzle designs that has you often breaking the fourth wall. Also on a side note, although the game does have some performance issues on the Nintendo Switch 1, if you're playing it on the Nintendo Switch 2, they're pretty much all cleared up, and it becomes an even more enjoyable experience on the newer console. Now next in the genre, we also have Chants of Sennaar that is 40% off, $11.99. Now this is rather a puzzle adventure built on the art of language and discovery. Exploration and observation are key here as you piece together meanings from signs, while solving environmental puzzles. Overall, a fun and original adventure experience. Now next, that brings us to Shady Part of Me, that is 75% off, $3.74. Now this is a narrative-driven puzzle adventure game that has you moving between 2 and 3D formats. Once again, one of the best parts of this game are the innovative puzzles built around manipulating light and perspectives to progress. An absolutely fantastic little pickup at this new budget price point. Now next, we have Bleak Sword DX, that is now 70% off, only $2.99. Now this game is way more action than it is adventure, where every level is like a bite-sized Souls-like arena. It's yet again a challenging yet extremely addictive game to jump into, with simplistic yet beautiful pixel art and great overall design. And now lastly, for our action-adventure games, we have Ogu and the Secret Forest, that is 40% off now, $14.99. Now this is yet again a great little Zelda-like with an absolutely beautiful hand-drawn art style. I actually played a ton of this game on stream, and I really did enjoy it a lot. However, this is another game that experiences some technical difficulties on the Nintendo Switch 1. However, they once again get cleared up if you're playing it on a Nintendo Switch 2. Now next, we're going to be looking at a couple of life sim games for this sale. And our first one is going to be Moonstone Island, that is 40% off, $11.99. Now this game is a cozy life sim and creature collecting RPG set on a sky full of floating islands. Gameplay combines farming, crafting, and relationship building with deck-based combat and exploration. It's basically like a blend of Stardew Valley and Pokemon with a magical twist. And secondly, for the genre, we have Hello Kitty Island Adventure hitting 25% off, $29.99. Now this game is rather an exploration-focused life sim where you befriend Sanrio characters while restoring a colorful island. The core loop here centers on gathering resources, decorating spaces, cooking, and completing quests for characters like Hello Kitty and My Melody. Overall, it's almost like Hello Kitty's version of Animal Crossing. And last, to wrap things up, we have the miscellaneous section, which are games that pretty much wound up alone in their genre. And to start things off for this game, we have Samba de Amigo Party Central, 75% off, $9.99. Now this is pretty much a rhythm-based party game where you need to use the Joy-Cons like maracas and follow the beat. It's a really fun experience that I enjoy playing with my family on a regular basis. So definitely, if you're a fan of rhythm games, this one is an easy suggestion. Next, we have Rogue Flight, that is 70% off, $5.99. Now this is an arcade space combat game inspired by the style of the 80s and 90s. You'll have to utilize incredible aerial acrobatic maneuvers coupled with a dizzying array of weapon types. The storyline also offers branching narrative paths with multiple endings. Overall, a fun original pickup for this sale. Now our next game is going to be Under Defeat, that is now 50% off, $9.99. Now this is a vertical scrolling shoot 'em up that puts you in control of a heavily armed attack helicopter, and you need to battle your way through gritty war-torn battlefields. This was a game originally released in arcades and has just recently been refined for consoles. And it's a great pickup for fans of classic arcade-style shmups. Next, we have a deal that's both running for the Nintendo Switch 1 and Switch 2 version of the next game, which is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3+4, that is 25% off, $37.49. Now you can probably tell once again from the title, but this is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4 revamped for modern consoles. The graphics are completely rehauled and the controls are modernized. Due to licensing as well, it has a completely reworked soundtrack. Overall, if you're nostalgic for the original games or you're just a fan of skateboarding, this one's going to be a great pickup. And now lastly, to wrap up today's video, we have Warhammer 40k Bolt Gun that is now 50% off, $10.99. Now this is a retro-inspired boomer shooter set in the grimdark Warhammer 40k universe, and it blends 90s FPS design with modern polish. The gameplay emphasizes fast movement, strafing, and non-stop aggression. It's simply a great pickup for fans of the Warhammer franchise or retro-styled FPS games. I want to thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to let me know what games you're picking up in the comments down below. I also want to give a huge shout out to my channel supporters. Their monthly support is just so appreciated. And on the way out, hit that like button, subscribe if you aren't already, and click on the notification bell so you know when all my future content comes out. And as usual, I'll see you in my next video.